Hey, what's up gamers? You have Tiger Chainsaw here, and in 2021 I picked up a PS5 and I was so excited to get one that I picked up about 10 games that very day. One of the games that I picked up was Immortals Fenyx Rising because I had seen so many commercials for it, I saw a bunch of YouTube advertising for it, and so I thought this game looks like a potential hidden gem and I really wanted to play it for myself. And let me tell you, this game right here, I was so disappointed in. I hate this game. I hate this game so much, and I'm gonna get into why I hate this game and all of my disappointments with it with this review. I'm sure that you guys have all experienced terrible games that others love, and this is just one of those games for me. So I'm gonna get into all the details of why I dislike this game during this review. But if this is your first time on my channel, or if you just haven't yet, make sure you hit that sub button to watch plenty of video game reviews on my channel that I've already done and plenty to come. Alright, let's go save some Greek gods in this Immortals Fenyx Rising review. In 2020, Ubisoft Quebec developed Immortals Fenyx Rising, which was published also by Ubisoft for the majority of major consoles, including the PS5, for which this review is done on. With the promise of epic battles against giant foes, a beautiful Greek isle to explore, and exciting new powers to earn, Immortals Fenyx Rising set out to conquer a crowded market. I take control of the fate of numerous Greek gods in this Immortals Fenyx Rising review, starting with the plot, but be warned, spoilers are ahead. The game is set in the mythical world of ancient Greece and follows the story of Fenyx, a mortal warrior who sets out on a quest to save the world from the wrath of the gods. The story begins with Fenyx, a young warrior who is washed up on the shores of the Golden Isle, a beautiful paradise that is home to the gods and their creations. Fenyx is discovered by the god Zeus, who tells him that the world is in danger as the other gods have been turned into stone by their own envy and pride. Zeus enlists Fenyx's help to defeat the evil Titan Typhon, who is responsible for the gods' transformations and plans to conquer the world. Fenyx sets out on a journey across the Golden Isle accompanied by the god Hermes, who serves as Fenyx's guide and mentor. As Fenyx travels through different regions of the island, he encounters various gods and mythological creatures such as Athena and Cyclops. Throughout his journey, Fenyx gains new abilities and powers such as the power of flight and uses them to defeat the monsters and puzzles that stand in his way. Fenyx also gathers the gods' blessings, which allow him to upgrade his weapons and armor and gain new abilities. As Fenyx progresses through the game, he discovers the gods are not as benevolent as they seem and are willing to use any means to defeat Typhon, including manipulating Fenyx and using him as a pawn. Fenyx must decide whether to trust the gods or forge his own path and find his own way to defeat Typhon. Fenyx discovers his brother is actually still alive and starts having friendly competitions about who can finish tasks first or climb mountains the fastest. This leads to his brother predictably betraying him in favor of Typhon, who promises to make him a god. Despite his brother trying to kill Fenyx, Fenyx shows mercy on his brother and decides to fight Typhon instead. The final battle against Typhon takes place at the top of Mount Olympus, where Fenyx must use all of his skills and abilities to defeat the Titan and save the world from his wrath. In the end, Fenyx emerges victorious and becomes a hero in the eyes of the gods and the mortals. In Immortals Fenyx Rising, you can customize your character with a number of different aesthetics, including playing between a male and female protagonist. I chose a male, although I doubt it makes any difference in the storyline or gameplay. Now, while I wanted to enjoy this game, it was hindered right away by a glitch. Within the first 10 hours of playing, I ran into this glitch that crashed my game and made me restart from my last save point. This didn't just happen once, it happened all the time. When you open up the map, there are certain icons that, if you put your cursor on them, will break the game. Now keep in mind that I played Immortals Fenyx Rising well over a year when it was released. Any bugs or glitches should have been patched, but instead, I was left with a very frustrating experience in an already tiresome game. Now, I was not the only person who dealt with this glitch, and there was a forum about it, but there wasn't really too many solutions. I got so angry that I tweeted about the issue, and someone who experienced the same glitch told me to turn off the icons that were glitching the game on the map. And once I did that, it never happened again. It's never fun to start off a review trashing a game, but glitches and bugs are something I take very seriously because it takes away from the entire experience of the game. So, once I was able to avoid the glitches, I was presented with the bread and butter of Immortals Fenyx Rising. And boy, did it disappoint. Graphically, the game isn't impressive for the PS5, but it still looked good with the color palette of bright colors and a beautiful golden isle. With so much land and area to explore, I was excited to begin my adventure and make my way around the isle, but instead, I was greeted with tedious tasks every inch of the map. You couldn't walk 5 seconds without some dumb collectathon, dungeon, side quest, minigame, or challenge popping up. Sometimes there's too much to do in a game that distracts the player from the main quest, and I felt that Immortals Fenyx Rising took the same 5 quests and just multiplied them by 100 and scattered all of them across the map. Some were crucial to gaining new powers or leveling up your health, so I did my best to complete all of those, but others were just a waste of time and added nothing to the gameplay. There's a dungeon around every corner, and at first I thought there would be different types, like puzzle dungeons, combat dungeons, exploration dungeons, but instead they were all just puzzle dungeons that acted like a toddler's toy. Find this shape or colored box and put it on this lever or platform to move into the next room, and repeat that 50 times before exiting the dungeon with little treasure. I cringed every time I entered a dungeon, knowing that 20 minutes of puzzle solving was in front of me. Some puzzles were so frustratingly hard. Not from a solving aspect, I knew what I had to do most of the time, but because of the controls. The controls during these puzzle segments are shit. Some boxes were just out of reach and didn't travel well when you selected them or pulled them with magic. The results minimized whatever fun I was having and completely changed the pace of the game. You cannot get into a groove with Immortals Fenyx Rising, because once you defeat a dungeon, you walk 5 more feet and there's another one to solve. Despite the open world nature of this game, my playthrough of Immortals Fenyx Rising felt very empty. Sure, there were challenges and enemies everywhere you looked, but it didn't have any substance. There were no towns, interesting characters, or anything unique. Once you walked 5 minutes over the map, you wouldn't be seeing anything new for the rest of the game. The best point of interest was your hub station, which served as the communication portal with the gods, where you could level up and increase your power. Other than that, the world felt dull and littered with pointless elements. The writing in Immortals Fenyx Rising ranged from having me chuckle out loud to cringing at lines that added absolutely nothing to the game.
The child was non-binary.
Huh? For the most part, the writing and voice acting was good, and I'll give credit where it's due. The dialogue between Fenyx and the others was solid. Unfortunately though, for the plot, it was really predictable with Fenyx's brother betraying him near the end of the game. Surprisingly, the combat was more difficult than I imagined. It's more than a hack and slash game, although there's plenty of that. Most enemies will have a style of fighting that you'll need to adapt to in order to defeat them. Most boss fights were pretty fun and not too much of a challenge, but that final boss, man, was he a chore. You needed to properly be leveled up to take on Typhon. To level up, there's a billion things to collect in this game. You can do this going through the crypts, or exploring the aisles, or completing challenges, and once you get enough material or items to collect, you can level up at the hub station. I took no pleasure in this whatsoever. Immortals Fenyx Rising was the first game that I played on my PlayStation 5. Probably not the best game to showcase the awesome power of my new console, but I was curious about it as I had seen so many advertisements for it. Much to my disappointment, I quickly lost enthusiasm for Immortals Fenyx Rising due to the glitchy map, the cringe character dialogue, and repetitive puzzle dungeons. It was a chore to play this game, and I couldn't wait to be finished so I could move on to something else with my PS5. Overall, while some of the writing was clever and the voice acting was good, the combat was average, and the empty world filled with markers was quickly redundant. Immortals Fenyx Rising had a tough task rising above all of the other Greek mythology hack and slash games, but it failed to take off. The glitches shut it down right from the start, which is why I'm giving Immortals Fenyx Rising a 5.4 out of 10. This means that it's a very questionable game. I had no fun with it, but I'm sure there are others that vastly disagree with me. And that's okay. That's what makes video games fun. Different opinions. So that was my review of Immortals Fenyx Rising on the PS5. Can you guys really blame me for my low score for this game? Glitches just ruin everything, and I had a game crashing glitch right from the start. And I tried to give this game the benefit of the doubt, but every step of the way, it just disappointed me. Now, I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure there's a ton of people that just love this game, and you guys can't wait to tell me how wrong I am. That's okay. Why don't you let me know in the comments below what you loved about this game, or maybe you agree with me, and you can let me know that too. While you're there, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to watch plenty of video game reviews that I'm sure I'm wrong on. You guys know the drill. Happy gaming, thanks for watching, and make sure you play a video game today.